Welcome back to the lunch table, hip hop food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz, and today we're actually dropping the hip hop out of it all because, as an Asian American, I feel like it's really important to bring up other Asian Americans really trying to get it in the entertainment industry. So this is what I did, right? My girlfriend had went to K-Town Night Market. She's like, yo, check out these artists, check out those artists. And I was like, all right, bet. So I went to the K-Town Night Market website, and I was just scrolling through the browser. And I was like, okay, who's this? Clicked on the profile, found out she's a producer, she's a host for this thing called Koogle TV. She's on Twitch. She's probably your favorite condiment at Korean barbecue. She goes by the name of Cathy Kim, a.k.a. Cathy the Kimchi. What's poppin', Cathy?
Hey, kimchi in the house. Oh, my kimchi's okay.
You know, kimchi's actually my favorite condiment at Korean barbecue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like that because it's too vinegary and fermented.
But it adds like a good balance when you're eating all the meats and whatnot. Plus the spice is good.
Duh.
I actually just seen your video. You were teaching like some two dudes how to eat Korean barbecue or something.
Wait, I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. They were gamers. Apparently, I didn't know them.
Okay.
So they're huge time Twitch OG gamers called their Trihex, and I forgot the other one.
Okay.
Sorry, but I only know his name, Andre. And they basically do a lot of video games on Twitch.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting because they're video gamers, and I was watching their stream after we were doing the KBBQ. They were so freaking quiet while we were eating, and I had to be the one. I was like, they're super calm.
You know what? I could kind of vouch for them because I'm also a gamer too. And when I'm in my game mode, it's like complete man cave. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm literally just stuck here. Jasmine will see me just like screaming and shit, and I'm like, nope, don't talk to me right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's more like an introverted thing, especially if you're a gamer.
Yeah, they were telling me they're super introverts and they're shy.
Yeah.
So I had to be the one, okay, everyone, drink.
Yeah.
And then they're very calm and different. And then I watched their stream after. All I see them is they're like, what the fuck? And they're yelling. I'm like, what's going on? They're like two different people online and offline.
Well, it's crazy because it's like, you know, nowadays, especially with the social media and Twitch, you do Twitch too, right?
Yeah, I just got on Fortnite.
Oh, my God, I can't even play that right now. But it's like there's a difference when you talk to, like, a human being interpersonally and then when you're just talking to a screen and then there's a lot of people, like, live streaming you.
Yeah, I agree because I stream, too, on live Twitch and LiveStar. That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
And when I was live streaming, I was always like trying to entertain people because that's what I want to do. I want to make people laugh and kind of have them a great time. I think it's because I grew up kind of lonely and like I was bullied and I was like I don't seem like that,
bullied?
Right? Looks can be
What?
I was bullied and then I had no friends. I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I was born in Sydney, and I went to Korea.
Sydney, Australia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I moved to Korea after. I only was there for 3-4 years, and then I went to Utah. Freaking Utah, out of all the places in the United States.
Nuts.
I went to pre-K there, and I spoke no whatsoever English. And I didn't even talk at all because I think I was traumatized from that experience.
Yeah.
I couldn't even order at McDonald's because people would make fun of me. And I was the only Asian girl at this pre-K.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this girl? And they would make fun of my eyes and stuff. It's like, no joke. It was like that back then. I didn't realize it until I was growing up and getting older.
Yeah.
And then after Utah, I came back to Texas for a little bit, and then I moved to Dallas. To Korea a little bit, and I moved to Dallas, Texas for 10 years.
Everywhere.
Yeah, that's why I think my mind's all over the place.
I mean, I could tell when I first met you, you were like already running at 100 miles an hour. I'm like, all right, bet this will be cool. This will be a fun interview.
I just I think I'm inviting, like welcoming and stuff. I come off very bubbly. Do I? I don't know.
You do.
But then off camera and not people, I like to stay silent and just look at my phone when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So I have I have two different modes as well.
So then how did you, like growing up, how did you deal with the fact that you couldn't even speak English around people who you were growing up with?
I just remember I was a very angry person. And I would close myself out of room and I would play Legos. And my little cousin, aunt and everybody used to try to get me to talk to people, but because no one was wanting to be my friends in pre-K.
Yeah.
And you know, I heard when you're like younger, you realize and see a lot of people. I don't know. There's like a lot of things you realize when you're younger too. If that makes sense.
Like what?
Like you get hurt from a lot of experiences, like little things, even like the littlest things, like parents. If they say like, "Oh, why can't you do this? Why are you so stupid?"
Yeah.
Like that really stays with you for a freaking long time.
Were your parents like hella strict on you?
Oh my God, I was raised up by very strict parents.
Yeah.
My dad had a tracker on my phone. I was not allowed to go out. I didn't even experience prom or anything like that after, when everyone was like, "Okay, we're gonna go somewhere else after 9 o'clock." Like, and then movies. When I wanted to watch movies with friends, there's a Barnes and Noble right across the movie theater. I would have to lie that, I'm going to be studying here at Barnes and Noble, run out, and then I would change my clothes too, because my dad didn't let me wear short sleeves.
Nothing revealing, huh? Yeah.
No shorts, nothing. Very conservative, almost like Mormon kind of feel.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that goes with a lot of Asian parents, especially back then, though. Because, you know, I have a couple homies who were born with parents who are a lot younger.
Yeah.
And I can tell they're a little bit more loose.
Now, yeah. So,
now.
I mean, I wasn't comfortable talking about it when I was younger, but I grew up in a very abusive family.
Yeah.
And me and my dad actually have a video out with, and it was like a healing moment for me, because they videotaped me talking about my life story while I was growing up. And then they decided to show me a video of my dad, of his views and aspects of while I was younger. And I was like, wow, it just got me into tears.
Yeah.
So he was saying, so I couldn't do cheerleading or anything like that, but he didn't understand why I wanted to do that, because of course I wanted attention and popularity, because I wasn't getting it from my family,
people,
you know. So I think that's why I focused on getting approval and attention through other people, because I couldn't get that through my parents. But now I am getting more acceptance from my dad, and I'm more closer than ever. I haven't talked to him for like 8 years. So that was like a different change. After this video, it was really weird. We didn't even sit at a dining table.
So then what made you want to create that video then? Like, who bridged that gap?
My boss.
8 years is a long ass time, dude.
My boss. And it comes with age, I feel like. I was losing friends, and I didn't even want to keep a big circle anymore. Popularity was not something I wanted, you know, at the age of like 24 now.
Yeah.
And I was all going out, trying to make new friends. I'm like, this is all about it. And something kind of, I felt like there was a hole missing inside me. I was just not satisfied and happy with the things that I was doing. I was like, why am I not enough for this? Always questioning myself, not confident. But I don't know where it came from either. People ask me this, but it just happened. And I think like it was just time for me to kind of let it loose. I keep everything to myself too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because, I mean, especially with family, I don't think you should really keep bad blood.
True. That's why your families are the ones who will be always there for you.
For sure.
Even if anything.
Yeah.
But that was just like a thing that everyone said to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like, my parents were also strict growing up, and then they kind of loosened up a little bit as they realized, like, okay, Nico's kind of all right. And then my sister was kind of like the troublemaker, I guess. So then they kind of kept like a really tight grip on her up until...
Younger, older?
Younger.
Okay.
Yeah, younger sister. And they kept a really tight grip on her. And what I just came to realize was that I feel like as time goes on, you really come to realize that people aren't always going to stay the same, you know?
Yeah.
Like your parents aren't going to always be the strict people that they were growing up, because my mom had some strict-ass parents too. My grandparents are strict as fuck.
Filipinos are strict? I always thought they had a chill environment.
They're
like
strict.
Family. Oh, really?
No, yeah, they're super strict. Like, I mean, one very minor thing, never wear shoes at the house. I don't know if that's like that
that's
for you.
all Asians.
That's all Asians. It's just really part of Asian culture, honestly. And it's like, I never really got hit, but I just always felt like as an Asian, like I always wanted to do a little bit more other than just be like a doctor or a lawyer. So then once I told my parents, like, yo, you know, this is the type of stuff I want to pursue, like, they were more accepting of it. Did you have that conversation with your parents?
Yeah, so the only thing I was good at was piano, and my studies sucked, and I would get in so much trouble. Why are you only getting C's and B's?
Yeah.
Why can't you get an A? I can't do it. I try to focus in school, and I'm like, I just can't. I'm studying my best, but I wasn't able to execute all my studies into the test mode.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, okay, this is not the route for you. Then maybe you should go into piano performance. And I ended up going to college for piano. And I was doing that, and I was so freaking miserable, but I had the great time of my life because I went to UCSB, and it's Irvine and SV. I don't have to see my parents nag at me or, you know. And I heavily fell into party culture from there. And my parents always wanted me to really focus on piano because you have to be good at something, you know, so they can brag to other friends. But why is that so important? Yeah. Right? That's what I didn't get with my family.
No, yeah. I mean, it's not really important, but I feel like I'm not a parent, obviously, but it's like, I feel like parents just have a sense of pride, like, you know, like, these are my kids and this is what they do. And I feel like Asians usually tend to compare their kids with other kids.
I think it's older generation parents as well. Like, not like, what's that Isai word? Not like really fobby parents. Because in Korea, people are competing every single minute. You know, in college too, they you could only apply to one college. I think the law, like, rules changed. Yeah. But you could only apply to one college, and if you don't get accepted, then you have to go through another process of like 6 months to a year, and then apply again.
That's in Korea?
Yeah, that's in Korea, but I think it's changed. That was me when I was in elementary school. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't that?
No, that's
crazy?
That's nuts, because it's just like, growing up, you never really know. Like, because I went to college, and it's like, you never really know what you're going to do, even within that 4-year span. I still know people who go through college, and they're just like, they're pretty much in their position because that's what they studied, not necessarily because that's what they want to do. You seem like you know what you want to do.
Oh my God. So I thought I figured it out, right? I'm going to go into hosting and producing. Yeah. But I think my biggest challenge is I'm always not confident enough. I always question myself. It's because how I was raised, because my parents are always like, why can't you be... So all my family are in the medical field, nursing, pharmacy, and engineering in MIT and USC. Come on, like, they would still compare. Not anymore, because now I'm kind of like doing something really, you know, like making names. Like, they're still like questioning me, like, are you? My grandma especially, she's like, what are you gonna do with this? I'm like, I'm so happy.
They wait to see until you get employed by like a huge ass name, like Google or something.
That's
always Google. Yeah, dude, it's always Google.
Not even Yahoo. It has to be Google. Yeah, Yahoo don't even count
anymore. Work for Google. Work for YouTube. It's like, no, but I'm trying to make this content for those platforms.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So they don't understand that, but my parents have been a lot more accepting. I think it's because of like, I'm showing progress, and I'm like a lot happier instead of me arguing with my parents all the time and not coming home. So I was really closed off and not sharing about everything. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, I'm emceeing at the LA Korean Festival, and it's kind of a huge thing for Koreans. It's like a yearly thing where you're showcasing like Korean culture. And I'm finally emceeing for that in Korean, and my grandma knows what it is. She's like, oh, you are? Oh, okay, I will come. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So probably like mess up now. I'm like,
do you feel like you're like forever like seeking that approval from your parents?
I still think I do, because whenever I land a gig, the first thing I do is share with my parents. I have a family chat with my grandma, my parents, and my sister. And they're the first ones that I go to. I'm like, I got a gig. And then they're like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this and this. They're like, oh, are you getting paid? I'm like... Wait, what? Why does money matter? But money to them is important too, because they want us to do well.
Yeah. And I mean, let me tell you this, like, it's the money thing in the sense of, like, they just want to make sure that you're able to, like, fend for yourself at some point.
Right,
you
like
know?
provide and like
Yeah.
that stability, because that's so important
Yeah.
in our culture. But to me, I'm like, meh. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as I'm getting by now.
Well, because you said you're like what, 24? Like
I'm
mid-20s?
27.
You're 27. Okay,
Oh
so
my
like
God.
mid-20s, right?
Yeah.
I feel like during your mid-20s, it's still okay to be like
Confused.
unstable, and still confused because, dude, like, I know people who are like 30, 35. They're roughly doing the same shit I'm doing. You know what I
Do
mean?
you think there's like a cutoff age to really figure out what you're supposed to be
No.
doing?
And let me tell you this. I listened to a podcast with Steve Harvey, Masterclass, Oprah's Masterclass. And, I struggle every day with trying to figure out, like, oh, fuck, like, I'm constantly comparing myself to this person, that person,
Right.
that person. They're all at different ages. And I'm just like, man, I hope I don't become that person by this age, or I want to be this person at that age. But Steve Harvey, he was broke as shit at one point of his life. And he actually didn't become a professional comedian until he was 27.
Mm-hmm.
And he said after that point is when his shit started skyrocketing. And then you just hear other stories about people who don't get into business up until they're like mid-30s, or people who get into their business when they're like 18. It just really comes down to the fact that everybody's journey is just so different, and you really can't compare. There's no cutoff age for when you're supposed to be successful, whatever that means,
And I think it's really about the foundation of finding yourself when you have an idea of what you want to do for others.
Yeah.
And like, then you're like, okay, this is what I want to do because this is going to make me happy and me like really want to push myself in order to do this certain thing. So once they find that niche, I
Yeah.
think, then that's where that's like a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What sort of rush do you get when you're out there like hosting?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know. I back like 3-4 years ago, I would not be able to do this. I
Yeah.
was not able to talk to people at all. I was so camera shy. You've interviewed Justin Park, so I was with their company. We would shoot music videos because I wanted to be like an artist, songwriter.
Yeah.
But I ended up doing a lot of songwriting because I was always lacking confidence of
You
myself.
didn't want to be the performer.
Right,
you wanted
yeah.
to be the person
I was
behind the
always
scene.
behind the scene.
Yeah.
And then because I was so not comfortable and confident, and I couldn't even stand behind the camera and look because I would just get so shy. But now look what I'm doing. I'm slowly pushing myself, which I'm challenging myself. I'm so proud of it.
How did you break that though?
I still think I'm breaking through it. I'm not there. Just one day I was like, yo, why am I caring about what other people are thinking about me? I'm like, I'm like trying to fill this hole that trying to satisfy other people too, but then I need to satisfy myself and be really content. And yeah, basically, I don't think I've ever smiled like this in a while either. I was always this little girl. I'm like questioning myself and like underestimated and like very not outgoing.
Yeah.
But what was the question again?
You were getting so into it, and I was like getting caught up in the story. What was that first step you took in order to like break through? You said you're still breaking through.
Yeah, I think my first thing is I have so many ideas going through my head every day, every single minute. I'm like, oh, I should be doing this. I can be doing this. I feel like I have not so much talent, but I have like knowledge where I can do certain things. But I like didn't want to do songwriting anymore. It wasn't making me like, woo, you know? But I liked being in front of the mic, like camera and mic. I wanted to be an announcer when I was younger. And just one day when I started working for Koogle TV, they gave me a chance to do my own content for food. And then showcasing Korean culture, like Korean food is like what I wanted to do. Like before I got into that, I would food blog about hole-in-the-wall restaurants. And it's because my mom's a chef.
Okay.
And I have that Korean taste bud, like that old lady,
Well, Korean food's really fucking good.
But if you get into really authentic food, they're very fermented and they take a long time creating this food. Like a lot of fish dishes, and I'll show you more.
See, you need to show me because I'm just used to going to like
a KBBQ,
like Jen or something, and it's like, yo, I'm gonna just cook it right here.
No, it's not.
You're saying that's
There's
trash?
More. I'm not a fan of Korean barbecue. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am so picky. I'm too Korean. But then people are so into Korean barbecue that I have to adjust myself into like the popular content instead of me trying to, because I won't get views. And I never understood why. I was like, why am I not getting comments and views and people don't want to see like this great food that this old grandma and grandpa has been working for like 60 years.
Yeah.
All you want to see is freaking corn cheese and motherfucking corn cheese and like fucking...
Was that Chicken Warriors?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, why do you guys want to see that? Like, but then I have to kind of find that balance and cater to that audience as well, which is tough.
Well, because I feel like in anything that's laid out in this world, you have the ability to put yourself in it. And the second you really find out your niche, as you say, and you put yourself into whatever that is, it becomes unique and it just becomes something that nobody else has ever really seen.
Yeah.
Because, you don't like Korean barbecue. That breaks my heart. But the fact that you're actually able to put yourself in those positions and still find ways to enjoy it with other people, that's a hard motherfucking task.
It's not easy. It's because to show that to other people too, they're very hard to convince as well. Like, people are like, what is this? What are you trying to do? But then I have so many different ideas going around me. I'm like, how can I just put this one together?
Yeah.
And because people... I'm like I said, they're really hard to convince. They like to stay to what they
already know. Yeah.
They're not open to, a lot of people are not open to that new ideas. And I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to like share like Korean culture in food.
Yeah.
And then like start off from there.
That's really cool.
I don't want to force it on people either. You know, I want it to come naturally.
I mean, I feel like with the more content you push out, people are just going to naturally just like follow you, because I find myself going on like popular YouTube channels, right? And I will scroll all the way down to their first video.
Mine too, I do that.
No, I do that shit. And it's fucking annoying. It's annoying. Yeah. Like, I'll do that shit. But to me, it's just like, I just went to a J. Cole concert, right?
Oh, shit.
And he was talking about how it's really the journey that matters. It doesn't matter the beginning or the start. It's really all about the journey. And when you scroll through all those YouTube videos or Instagram, whatever, and you see the progress of every single person, it's like, damn, it really instills something in myself, like, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah. So for me, what I'm finding is, I've been doing this for a while. So food blogging is what I started, but I don't have that like attention that I feel like I wanted.
Yeah.
Like enough numbers or followers, But I try not to let that get into my head, because it's really not that essential,
I mean, your IG's popping.
Oh no, honestly speaking, you're supposed to have like 100K followers over. I used to focus on that so much.
Yeah.
But there's so many other people in the back doing so much work, and like they are putting in like, it's just frustrates me.
No, I get you, because I remember going to like this little ice cream shop somewhere in downtown LA. And I'm pretty sure they were like some Instagram famous people, but it was like two girls. They had two people holding lights, two people taking photos, and then two people actually holding phones.
Those are bloggers.
Yeah,
They're
so
bloggers.
you know what I mean? To me, it was like, damn, even just one simple Instagram account with like 100, I don't know how many followers they had, but one simple Instagram account just has so much work put behind it, you know? Like, you're not, like, nobody's really seeing all the preparation that comes with that. Do you even have a team, or is it just you?
No, I have my video team, my news media team.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for that. Like, somehow, like, I always give up. I tend to give up if it's not working out for me, but then God places me with certain people where I can grow. But then, because my thing is like, oh, I don't have enough numbers, then I quit. But this is one of the jobs that I actually keep pushing myself, and I'm very kind of getting surprised with like all the things that are popping up here and there. I'm like, who would have thought I would be emceeing on stage?
Yeah,
no, like,
that's tight.
Yo, like that wasn't my thing.
And why do you stay with it? Is it just because you love it?
I enjoy it so much. I'm about to like shit in my pants when I'm up on stage. Like, I'm like, you should see my hands, because I'm like shaking when I start. I'm like, okay, I have to say this and this and this. I get on stage. I'm like, I say like 25% of the things that I should have said and nothing. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah.
I'm like, then I kind of just let it go from there. I'm like, okay, fuck this. And then I just go by the flow.
You just let loose.
Yeah. Everyone's like, Cathy, just be you. You're like just awkward and like, you know, like just curse on stage. I'm like, no, there's kids.
No, yeah. You definitely can't be doing all of that type of stuff.
No, but I just really enjoy it. And I like to put smiles onto people's faces.
Yeah.
But like deep inside, I was so sad. I was a sad kid, like emo, like cut myself. I don't know why I'm laughing, but now I can laugh about it.
But you know what? There are people in this world who really do feel like that, and I feel like a part of your story is really just saying like, no matter what type of situation you grow up in, like things do change.
Yeah.
And there's always a way out of your, I wouldn't say, I guess like a shitty situation. There's always a way out.
And for us, we're constantly changing too. Like we're learning about ourselves. My personality has changed from like drastically from 6 years ago. I was crazy and like clingy, needy, psychotic.
Yeah.
Like
God.
I was like depressed and I went through like what is that thing called? So not raped, but like sexually harassed. Assaulted.
Yeah.
But opening about that, all of that stuff that I've gone through and talking about it has helped me heal as a person and like grow and realize about a lot of things, which I'm very thankful.
You realize you're not alone at that point.
Yeah, and there's like people that support. I get messages after I did that video and they're like, so I've been going through this with my family, but I didn't think I would like help people like go like realize a lot of things. So I was shocked because I was just telling my story, which I never did before either, because I'm always reserved and I kept it to myself. And I worked like 4 jobs so I could keep my minds off of things. Mm-hmm. But I'm a lot more free and like, woo!
Well, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, even going back to the numbers thing you were talking about, was a lot of people really focus on numbers and then they always ask like, well, how do I get my followers up? How do I get all that up? And it always just comes down to relatability, I feel. You know what I mean?
Okay, so one thing I've noticed is you have to do content that people really like. Even though you want to do the content you want to do, put out stuff that it will please people, sadly. Like, you know, like, for me, my example was I would go to restaurants and I would explain the difference between Korean sushi and Japanese sushi, and no one was getting it. My view counts were like hella low. Like kimbap, you know.
So what's the difference?
There's a huge difference. So sushi is basically a raw fish over a rice, like rice vinegar rice. For Koreans, it's just kind of like it's not a compilation. It's like this word. The English words are so hard for me.
Composition?
No. So you know when Japanese colonized Korea back then, this is when Koreans took over Japanese style of food, because that's where all the people would only eat Japanese food. Yeah. And then Koreans took that into like the sushi format. So they put the seaweed paper and then a bunch of Korean vegetables inside. So there is a difference. So and I don't even like to call it Korean sushi because it's not. There's another Korean sushi.
So then what's it called then?
Kimbap.
Kimbap. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like the ones with like vegetables with the seaweed paper around it, the circle ones, those are kimbap.
Okay, I've seen
those
that.
are not Korean sushi.
Yeah.
And then my view counts were slow. I mean like very low on that. Yeah. And then I did how to do Korean barbecue like a master at home.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta word it in which you find it'll be appealing, I guess.
And then it was just excessive.
It's really hard to try to figure out what other people like. Because the way I go about things is like, I'm just gonna put some shit out that I like.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a group of people who think similarly to the way I do. You know what I mean?
Because we want to work like creators. We have so many ideas that we want people to see. But, like, again, a lot of people are accepting of that. So, which is hard.
No, it's really hard. But, you know, what's promising is that nowadays we're seeing, like, this whole, like, resurgence of, like, hella Asians in entertainment. You know what I did right before going to this interview? Just last week, I had to watch Crazy Rich Asians.
Yo, I just watched that last week. or 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been hitting #1 on box office for 2 weeks.
And it amazes me how, like, it's the first in, like, 25 years in which a Hollywood film had an all-Asian cast.
Actually, did you watch A Foreigner, Jackie Chan? That was another Asian family-based movie.
It was the same company, right?
Yeah.
Higher or something.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I think it was the same company.
I don't have that
it was like H Bros or something.
I was like, wait, 88 Rising has to do with something with this?
No, not Higher Brothers.
I realized I think they put higher because they want to be higher. They like to be very entitled. Freaking Asian people. Like to be like, they want to be high with everything, on top of everything.
Yeah.
It's our mentality and our work ethic.
But you know what's crazy is that I feel like in America, like, I feel like Asians are like the real minorities in America. At least, I mean, it could be biased because I'm already Asian, but like, because I feel like we're not in entertainment and we're not really talked about when it comes to anything. Like, as a Filipino, like, the only person we really have is like Manny Pacquiao and Bruno Mars when he wants to claim being Filipino, you know? But other than that, there's not really too many people making their noise. However, as Asians, we will make our way in, like, small businesses, hella small businesses, or even, like, just be, like, the head of this corporation or, like, that corporation.
Yeah.
Like, we're very silent when it comes to our moves.
Okay.
From my perspective.
Okay. I can see that as K-pop too because it did come out of nowhere and like BTS taking over. Am I talking about the same thing? Sorry, I'm just looking ahead and I'm thinking. I mean, for me, like right now, everyone's talking about Crazy Rich Asians and how it is a stepping stone for Asians in the entertainment industry to step out and really have a voice. But some people are really, really pushing it, and I don't like that mentality. I don't know why. I feel like because those actors have been in the industry for how many years now?
Yeah.
Like, what, 10 plus years? John Cho is now in the movie Searching, and he's been in Harold and Kumar. And then when I asked him the question, I was like, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be asked this a lot. What do you think about being the male Asian lead for the first thriller movie for Asians? And he kind of like laughed at, like, it was like a weird vibe that I got. So I don't know what it was going through his head, but maybe for him it's like, oh, I've been doing this movie, like, male lead, now. Like, why is it now? Why is it the time now? Why hasn't it been the time? Like, why aren't they getting acknowledged? That's what I'm thinking. I just like it kind of naturally instead of being forced. Of course, it's the time for Asians to shine right now.
Yeah.
And then it will be more noticed, but would this be continuing? I hope it's continuing.
I hope so.
But is it something that's like gonna be really popular and then like die down? You know those one-time artists like Chameleonaire, what the heck, like Riding Dirty, that's all I heard, and then he disappeared out of nowhere again. I'm hoping it's not, but that's what I question myself.
Well, the way I see it is like between all the movies, the music, the film, and all that, it was all like white people who were just like really in it. And then just a couple years ago, we saw like a resurgence of like a lot of black people. Even this year when Black Panther came out, like there was a lot of support for the black community. And then with Crazy Rich Asians, I think people were comparing Crazy Rich Asians to Black Panther in the sense of like, this is the movie, not the first movie, but this is the movie that really puts them on the map in like American culture.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Apparently, it's like Chinese people. It's like Chinese-based story, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like controversy between like Chinese or like Asians in between that movies too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, now it's just Chinese people that are trying to make it out there.
I mean, honestly, even just watching it, like, I never once thought like, oh, these are like Chinese people doing it. I was just happy to see the fact that somebody from the same like freaking continent was just there, you know what I mean? Because growing up I didn't have that. And I know there's a lot of people who feel that same way too. Did you get that feeling like watching that movie?
Honestly speaking, maybe like 50%. I don't know, like I have been like interested in like the Asian Americans like getting into the Hollywood scene. but I don't think it will hit me until like I'm seeing like 3-4 movies at a movie box, you know?
Yeah.
I just want them to really keep me. I don't know. Is that something wrong for me to think
No, I feel you, because it's as you said, like you're just hoping it's not just a one-time thing.
Right, okay.
The more we see foreigners, the more Jackie Chan spawns that we see afterwards, you know what I mean? Or like Bruce Lee spawns or Constance Wu spawns we see afterwards. That's when it's like, okay, we're in here.
Yeah. I don't think it's like, oh my god, it's like time for Asians. I think right now is like a stepping stone.
The beginning.
Yeah, the beginning. Only the beginning. And I want this to like really, really like perspire. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a word.
Yes. I did it.
Well, we perspired through this interview, and we also perspirated. Is that the right word?
I'm good for that. I'm totally good. I'm proud of myself.
I don't want to take too much of your time because you actually have an event to do in a couple minutes.
Sally. I think we could go on about this for like.
I don't know.
You should come on to like mine, and then we should like just have fun with it.
We should.
Yeah, are you down?
I am down. This is the beginning of adult friendship.
Yes.
Cathy the Kimchi on everything, right?
Yeah, with the C.
With a C.
And then Nico. Well, the lunch table with everything. And then I'm so sad.
And we'll talk some more.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get around to in sometime.
Yeah, I hope this is like a lot.
No, because honestly, I feel like we could go on for another hour because this is just a very captivating conversation for myself and I hope for everybody else listening to it.
Yeah,
you know?
Twitch
You feel me?
signers. I'm so happy for y'all right here. Woo.
I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos to do this shit. Subscribe, like, do all that bullshit. It'll help us. It'll help me out.
You're doing a
help her
great
out,
thing
do all
here. Like this is very fun and like it's inspirational, inspiring.
Inspiring?
There you
Nah.
go. See my English.
Don't even gas me up, man. I see all the stuff that you're
like,
doing, and I'm just like, damn, man, this girl's everywhere.
Now
This
I'm
girl's
just like,
posting like 4 times a day. Like, what the fuck, man?
Someone was like, you can't post 4 times a day. You have to post 1 time a day, or you'll lose followers. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm so over this now. I'm just gonna do me at this point, and I don't care. I'm gonna make myself happy. You guys stay or whatever.
Cathy the Kimchi, everybody. This is the lunch table. No hip hop, but food for thought. Take care. Take out.
Oh no,
Yeah,
we've
I
been
fucked
hanging
up.
out too
Peace.
long.